let me ask you this. We talked about you holding your friends accountable. Have you ever been in a situation in a space where your friends had hold you accountable? That's a good question right there. And how did you react when the shoe was on the other foot? I'll tell you something. I recently was in a space where I had to get held accountable twice in the past couple days. Um, just real quickly, working this new job, getting into the swing of things, and I was working with someone who's been there before me. You know, they've been on this job a couple of years, so they know the ropes. And I'm in charge of the schedule, and I did the schedule kind of funny. I knew I was doing it kind of funny, but I shot my shot anyway, hope for the best. And they pulled me to the side and they let me know, hey man, that bullshit ain't about to slide, man. Like we really gotta be tight with this. You really gotta give me time to be able to do this and do that. And how did I take that? I took it like a champ. I gave her a hug. I looked in the eye and I said, I appreciate you for the feedback. Cause I need that. I'm not perfect. I don't proclaim to be. I strive to be the best version of myself. And when people have feedback for me, when people hold me accountable, most of the time, most of the time, I'm receptive to it. Not all the time, because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know, sometimes you could just come at people wrong and the message completely just go right over their head because the delivery was off. Another time, I'm working with a group of people, and I'm not gonna give all the details, and I'm sparing it because like I want to have some kind of protection for the people that I work with and I'm dealing with and talking about because yeah, I'm being open and honest with my podcast, but at the same time, it be real people involved in these things, and I just want to protect them and show the utmost respect in a way. But I want to share this story and I want to tell this truth. So I have a project with a group of friends, and it's been a really interesting segment of my life. I said that way, um, because I'm used to just being myself. I'm used to doing things my way. I'm used to being in charge of a lot of things that I do, or at least in a leadership role of it. And I'm not a dictator with nothing I do. You know, the best idea wins. Everyone I work with know that, and they know that they can come to me and we bounce off each other. But in this particular situation, I almost feel like I can't be myself. It almost feels like when I am myself, I do something wrong, or there's some kind of confliction with other members of this project. And there was a situation recently where I did something that in my mind wasn't a big deal. In my mind, I felt like I was doing something to help a friend out. But because I didn't share it with the group, and because of how I went about it, it was perceived in a very negative way. And my intention was not that, but that's how it was perceived. And we talked about it, and I understand where they're coming from. We conducting ourselves in a professional manner, and we have to move that way across the board. I was held accountable in that moment, and I understood that. And I took that piece of information and I went with it because I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? There's certain times and spaces in which I'm not perfect, man. I do a lot of great work. I do a lot of great work in what I do, but there's always room for growing, there's always room for elevation. And especially when it comes to working with different people who have a different workflow than you, it's a real big learning process for me. You know what I'm saying? Being in a space where everyone's opinion matters, everyone's input matters just as much as yours, in a space where you have to have supreme level of communication, it's a challenge for me, y'all. And I fall short sometimes. And I had, like I told y'all, I was held accountable in that moment, and I had to own it because at the end of the day, I get where they coming from. They right. I should have did it a little differently, but at the time, I wasn't thinking about it that way. I was just trying to help out a friend, man.